is a discouraging and hazardous occupation.
Allison! I wanted something!
What's that? Get me out of this chair!
January 2026 is a packed month with new movie releases from various genres, ranging from horror and psychological thrillers to post-apocalyptic action and survival. Many titles are releasing straight into theaters or major streaming platforms like Netflix and Prime Video, giving audiences plenty of viewing options at the start of the year. Below, Daily Movie Channel has prepared a recommendation list of the top 10 newest movies released in January 2026. Don't forget to subscribe for more recommendations, and let's jump straight into the list. Number 1. The Wrecking Crew.
This doesn't happen here every day.
The Wrecking Crew is an action comedy movie that follows two long-estranged stepbrothers, Johnny and James, who are very different from each other but are forced back together after their father's mysterious death. As they begin investigating what really happened, old secrets and emotional wounds from the past resurface, pushing them to fix their broken relationship while searching for answers behind the death. Throughout their investigation, they discover a massive conspiracy far more complicated than they ever expected, threatening not only their family but their own lives as well. With a mix of action scenes, comedy, and strong character dynamics, Johnny and James must work together to face growing threats while trying to resolve their personal conflicts. The Wrecking Crew stars Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista and premieres on Prime Video on January 28, 2026. Number 2. Primate.
Ben?
A group of friends goes on a tropical vacation to Hawaii, including Lucy, who reunites with her family, and their pet chimpanzee Ben, who is treated like a family member. During a pool party, Ben is bitten by an animal infected with rabies, causing his behavior to change drastically from gentle to extremely aggressive and dangerous, putting everyone's lives at risk. The situation quickly spirals when the chimp starts hunting them one by one, forcing Lucy and her friends to find ways to survive and hide in a place they once thought was safe. With no outside help and trapped in the house with a predator they once loved, they must plan how to fight back or escape from an animal that has become a deadly threat. Primate hits theaters on January 9th, 2026, combining survival horror with raw, primal tension as a dream vacation turns into a night of terror. Number 3. Shelter.
Mason isn't just an assassin.
Shelter follows the story of Mason, a former hitman who chooses to live in isolation on a remote island to escape his dark past. His peaceful life changes drastically when he rescues a young girl stranded at sea after a massive storm, and that act of kindness pulls the danger he once left behind back into his quiet life. Mason is then forced to re-enter a world of violence and intrigue as his old enemies resurface one by one, pushing him to protect the girl while confronting a past that demands revenge. As they struggle to survive and search for safety, Mason must face his own internal conflict, along with the growing threats around them. Shelter blends action with emotional tension, telling the story of a man who must choose between staying hidden or standing up against every threat to protect the person he saved. Number 4. The Rip.
Seize the cash, count it, and turn it in.
The Rip follows a group of Miami narcotics cops who discover stacks of millions of dollars in cash inside a hidden warehouse during a routine operation. At first, the money feels like a massive stroke of luck, but once word gets out, trust within the team begins to crumble as everyone questions each other's motives and who they can truly trust. As external pressure and outside threats intensify, tensions inside the team grow, making both professional and personal relationships increasingly fragile. The search for where the money came from, along with the moral and legal consequences of finding it, forces them to face impossible choices in a situation filled with suspicion and danger. The Rip stars Matt Damon and Ben Affleck as two officers caught in a story of trust, betrayal, and inner conflict when a simple case turns into high-risk chaos. The movie streams on Netflix starting January 16, 2026. Number 5. Return to Silent Hill. Return to Silent Hill follows James Sunderland, a man whose life is shattered after losing his lover, Mary. One day, he receives a mysterious letter from Mary, calling him back to Silent Hill, a fog-covered town filled with dark memories from the past. Even though he once knew the town, Silent Hill has now transformed into a place filled with unexpected evil forces and terrifying creatures lurking around every corner. During his search, James must navigate foggy streets, abandoned buildings, and dark corridors, encountering figures that feel familiar but are distorted by something supernatural. He constantly questions whether what he sees, ghosts, monsters, or memories of Mary, is real or simply a projection of his psychological trauma. His goal remains the same: to find Mary and uncover the mystery behind Silent Hill while holding on to his sanity as the horror intensifies. Number 6. Send Help.
I was busy trying to keep us alive.
Send Help tells the story of two co-workers who become the only survivors after their plane crashes on a remote island during a business trip. They are Linda Little, an often underestimated employee, and Bradley Preston, her arrogant and difficult boss. Their relationship was already tense long before the crash. Stranded in a harsh environment with no clear rescue in sight, they must push past personal conflicts and try to work together to survive, even as ego and misunderstandings keep getting in the way. As time passes on the island, the struggle to find food, water, and shelter turns into an intense psychological battle between the two, where old power dynamics and mutual resentment are tested by extreme conditions. The tension forces them to face not only the environment, but also their limits in maintaining sanity, trust, and survival instincts, as everything becomes increasingly unpredictable. Send Help is scheduled to hit theaters on January 30th, 2026. Number 7. Greenland 2: Migration.
5 years since the end of the world.
After the Garrity family, John, Allison, and their son Nathan survived the massive comet impact that nearly wiped out humanity inside the Greenland bunker, they now face a new phase of survival in a drastically changed post-apocalyptic world. The world outside the bunker has become hostile, with extreme temperatures, environmental destruction, and vast areas covered in ice and debris after the impact of the Clark comet. As resources inside the bunker begin to run out and the shelter is no longer safe long-term, the Garrity family is forced to leave their protection and begin a dangerous journey across frozen Europe in search of new land that might still be livable and allow them to rebuild their lives. During this migration, they face natural threats like radiation storms and massive waves, encounter other survivor groups who may become allies or enemies, and endure physical and emotional challenges that test them as a family. Number 8. Mercy.
What the?
Mercy is set in the near future, where the legal system has evolved and court trials are run by artificial intelligence instead of humans. Chris Raven, a seasoned detective, is suddenly accused of murdering his own wife and is forced to face an AI judge named Maddox in a high-tech digital courtroom. He has only 90 minutes to prove his innocence before the cold, unforgiving algorithm delivers a fatal sentence. Throughout the trial, Chris must battle digital evidence, CCTV footage, metadata, and algorithmic scoring systems designed to make rapid decisions. While the search for truth becomes increasingly complex under intense time pressure, the situation is deeply ironic, as the AI system judging him is something he once helped create, making Chris's fight not just about clearing his name, but also questioning whether justice should truly be left to machines. Number 9. We Bury the Dead. We Bury the Dead follows the journey of Ava, a woman whose life is destroyed after an experimental military weapon detonates in Tasmania, killing almost everyone on the island and causing the bodies to rise again in horrific conditions. Because her husband Mitch was on the island when the tragedy occurred, Ava joins a volunteer unit tasked with burying and cleaning up the dead, holding on to hope that her husband might still be alive in the chaos. However, the mission turns into a fight for survival when she realizes that the bodies they're burying aren't truly dead. Some have returned as violent and dangerous victims. Forced to face a nightmare beyond anything she imagined, Ava and her new companion Clay travel through remote zones filled with the undead, moral dilemmas, and haunting remnants of the past, all while Ava continues her desperate search for Mitch and confronts the horror that has completely shattered their world. The movie hits theaters on January 2nd, 2026. Number 10. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. 28 years later, The Bone Temple is set after the events of the previous film in a post-apocalyptic Britain still devastated by the rage virus. Spike, a teenage survivor from the earlier chaos, becomes entangled with a dangerous group led by Sir Jimmy Crystal, an extreme and mysterious cult-like leader. Spike's encounter with Jimmy quickly turns into a nightmare he can't escape, as threats come not only from the infected, but from human cruelty that proves far more brutal and unpredictable. Meanwhile, Dr. Ian Kelson, a surviving doctor and key figure from from the previous film, forms a new relationship with consequences that could alter the reality of the world they know. Throughout their separate journeys, Spike and Kelson face massive challenges, not just fighting horrifying creatures, but confronting the darker side of humanity that may be even more dangerous than the infection itself. The film expands on themes of post-virus survival, intergroup conflict, and human morality amid chaos, while exploring what it truly means to remain human in the worst possible conditions. The movie is scheduled to hit theaters on January 16, 2026, as a direct sequel to 28 Years Later, and part of a new trilogy in the 28 Days Later franchise. Those are the top 10 newest movies of January 2026, complete with clear story synopsis and no major spoilers. January really delivers a strong start to the year for movie fans across genres, from survival thrillers and science fiction to intense horror and post-apocalyptic sagas.